Welcome in this video. In this video, we will learn about connections and functions of cerebellum. In first part, we learned about structure, position, structure of cerebellum. Now, connections of cerebellum. Connections of cerebellum divided into three parts. Number one, afferent, that is coming to the cerebellum, fibers coming to the cerebellum. Then internal connections, and third is efferent, means fibers which leave the cerebellum. So now, starting from afferent fibers, there are two types of fibers are coming in the cerebellum. Number one, this is climbing fibers, and this is mossy fibers. Climbing fibers are from inferior olivary nucleus. From inferior olivary nucleus, fibers are coming to the cerebellum. It enters and stimulates the deep cerebellar nuclei. We know that deep cerebellar nuclei are four types of deep cerebellar nuclei. Number one, from lateral to medial, dentate nucleus, then globus and emboliformis, and fourth is fastigial nucleus. Globus, nucleus globosus and nucleus emboliformis is collectively known as nucleus interpositus. These fibers, that is climbing fibers, are going in the first it will stimulate the deep cerebellar nuclei. It is going upward and to the molecular layer. We know that there are three layers in the cortex of the cerebellum. Number one, molecular layer, intermediate layer, and this granular layer. So this is going to directly up to the outer layer, that is molecular layer. It is going directly in the molecular layer. In molecular layer, it makes synapse with dendrites of purkinji cell. One thing is very peculiar about this climbing fiber, that they connect, this one-to-one connection is there, that is one-to-one connection. This climbing fiber will connect to one purkinji cell. One-to-one connection is there. This is peculiar character of this climbing fiber. Now, coming to it is stimulatory, and this neurotransmitter is aspartate. And mossy fiber. All fibers coming in the cerebellum except this climbing fiber are collectively known as mossy fiber. They may be coming from vestibulocerebellar, spinocerebellar tract, any reticulocerebellar tract, all are collectively known as mossy fiber. Mossy fibers, while entering into the cerebellum, this also stimulate deep cerebellar nuclei. They will stimulate deep cerebellar nuclei, and it will end into the this granular layer. It will stimulate granular cells and also stimulate golgi cell, type 2 cells. This will stimulate. First difference is that climbing fibers directly enters into the outer molecular layer and combines with or makes synapse with purkinji cell. These mossy fibers are coming from, there are other fibers other than climbing fibers. They stimulate deep cerebellar nuclei and granular cell and Golgi cells. Cells present in the granular layer, they will stimulate. This fiber is not going to the outer molecular layer. This will end here. Now, from this is the afferent part of the cerebellar connection. Now, internal. From granular cell, we know that granular cell is stimulated by mossy fibers. From granular cell, its fiber will go directly to the molecular layer. In the molecular layer, it will divide into two, T division, T and T bifurcation. That is, it will go here and bifurcate like this, T. And these fibers are known as parallel fibers. They are parallel to the axis of the folia. Therefore, they are known as this parallel fibers. Parallel fibers are axons of granular cell. This is granular cell, and they are excitatory. Granular fibers of this is also excitatory, and the neurotransmitter is glutamic acid. This glutamic acid is also a neurotransmitter for mossy fibers and also for this granular cell. This will divide into the outer molecular layer, divide into two, and then this will connect with Purkinji cell and dendrites of Purkinji cell, stellate cell and basket cell. All are stimulatory. This is stimulatory, and neurotransmitter is again glutamic acid. This is, and when this granular cell stimulates this Golgi cell also, and Golgi cell in turn will inhibit Golgi cell type 2 is stimulated by granular cell, and then this will inhibit this Golgi cell will inhibit the granular cell. This is known as negative feedback loop. This is negative feedback loop. What is negative feedback loop? Granular cell. This granular cell is stimulating this Golgi cell, and in turn Golgi cell, when stimulated, this depress or inhibit the granule cell. This is known as negative feedback loop. Then it is going into the, this is the connection here. Now when stimulated basket cells, this will go, its axon will stimulate, go into the, will enter into the, will make synapse with dendrites of Purkinji cell. This will make connection with dendrites of Purkinji cell. This stellate cell or this basket cell. Their axons make synapse with dendrites of Purkinji cell. And Purkinji cell, it is inhibitory. And then Purkinji cell will send impulse through its axon to the deep cerebellar nuclei, which is inhibitory. Golgi cell, a granular cell, will stimulate this basket cell and Purkinji cell, which will inhibit Purkinji cell and Purkinji cell, and then Purkinji cell will send impulse to the deep cerebellar nuclei, which is negative. Axons of Purkinji cell is the only coming from the cortex. From the cortex, it is going into the deep cerebellum. Purkinji cell axon is the only axon which is going outside the cortex of the cerebellum. It is not in the another fibers, that is stellate cell, basket cell, Golgi and granular cells, all are not going out to the cortical area. The only Purkinji cell axon is going into the deep nuclei, deep cerebellar nuclei, and this is inhibitory. Now, this is afferent and efferent. Now, efferent from cerebellum is axons of deep nuclei, deep cerebral nuclei. Axons of deep nuclei, deep cerebral nuclei is the only efferent that is leaving the cerebellum. Sometimes some fibers of the purkinji cell, some fibers from purkinji cell may go to the vestibular area, vestibular apparatus, but it is rare. This is about the connections of internal afferent. So we learned that afferent is climbing fiber from inferior olivary nucleus, and this is aspartate, neurotransmitter is aspartate. From mossy layer it is stimulating the deep cerebral nuclei and granular cell, and this granular cell will send fiber to this outer molecular layer. This is the T bifurcation. Parallel fibers are axons of granular cell, and these fibers, axons of the this basket cell is tangential to this parallel fibers. They are known as tangential fiber. Axons of basket cell is at right angle to the parallel fibers or tangential, therefore it is known as tangential fiber. This is the connection of the cerebellum. So we learned about negative feedback loop. Now feed forward inhibition. Feed forward inhibition is, that is granular cell. We learned that granular cell is stimulating this basket cell and stellate cell. It is stimulating these two, granular cell and also purkinji cell, and stimulating also this purkinji cell. And in turn, this is stimulatory. Now basket cell and stellate cell will inhibit the purkinji cell. This is feed forward inhibition. Feed forward inhibition. We learned that functions of cerebellum. Functions of cerebellum are posture and balance from archicerebellum, tone and reflex from spinocerebellum, and coordination from this coordination of voluntary and involuntary movement is from this neocerebellum. This is the connections and functions of cerebellum. Now some diseases, lesion due to not dysfunction of the cerebellum, it may be ataxia or dystaxia, that is loss of incoordination, and the sufferer will cannot maintain his balance, and drunken gait is there. When he will move, then there is this type of movement. This is known as drunken gait. Then dysmetria, the direction and force of the movement of any movement is not clear, not synchronized. Then dysarthria. Dysarthria means slow learning speech. Slow learning speech is dysarthria. Nystagmus will occur, that is due to incoordination of movements of eyeball. Slow to and from looks to the affected side. When he looks toward the affected side, there is slow to and from movement of the eyeball, and fast when he looks to opposite side. Then hypotonia and asthenia, tone and reflexes, that is hypotonia and or asthenia may be there. Due to this, away from the affected side, face is moved away from the affected side. When this side is affected, face will be toward the another side due to movement of the pull of the normal muscle. It will pull, and this is the cause of soldier of this side, affected side is lower, soldier of unaffected side is higher. When this side of lesion is there, then soldier of the affected side is higher, and there is a spontaneous deviation. There is intentional tremor when he when sufferer, the patient is asked to this. Suppose patient is asked to this grab this or catch this pen, then his movement is not proper, and there is intention which becomes more when he approaches the object. When he approaches the object, there is more tremor. This is known as intentional tremor. You may be remembering intentional tremor and resting tremor. Resting tremor is seen in Parkinsonism, and fine tremor is seen in thyrotoxicosis. This is about and how to test this. Number one, finger nose test. Patient is asked to touch his nose with closed eyes, and this foot is close to each other. Then he will close eyes. Then he will ask to this nose, tip of the nose or finger to finger. These things will show that the cerebellum is functioning or not. So this is about functions, connections and function of this cerebellum. This is cerebellar nucleus, deep cerebellar nuclei, and we have learned that this is spinal cerebellar region will appear on the motor region, motor symptom or sign will develop on the same side. This is due to this fact that cerebellum, pontocerebellar nuclei, and from cerebellum it is going to the red nucleus and thalamus. From thalamus this is going into the brain part, that is dentato-cerebral tract, dentato-thalamic tract and pontocerebellar tract, and this is pyramidal tract which is crossing the midline. So this is about the cerebellum. In next video we will learn about the cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, thank you.